Soul Beneficiary by Marion Morton. Starring Marion Morton as Noelle Reeves and Z.B. Chong as Caleb. Chapter 2.
Is something wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Noelle, you're kind of freaking them out.
I'm freaking them? Sorry, Nanpa. It's been a strange evening.
Oh, that's okay, honey. We've all had a hard day.
Oh, Nan, come here.
Thank you for everything. What would we do without you?
No, what would I do without you?
Morgan was always so private, even as a child. He never called. I always had to call him. Sometimes he wouldn't even answer, and I'm his mother.
I know. He was always kind of odd.
Hey.
He could have at least said something. Maybe I couldn't have cured him, but at least I could have...
It's all right, dear. It's all right. There's nothing we could have done. Noelle, will you be okay if I take her to bed?
Absolutely.
Thanks, hon.
It's still me, you know.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
Well, you did.
Huh. Must be a ghost thing.
Why weren't you at the funeral?
Me? Go to my own funeral and listen to strangers talk about me for an hour. Sounds like the worst party ever.
Yeah, that's fair. So, what's it like being dead?
It's odd. There are very few familiar sensations. You're not tired or cold or hurting. Instead, you feel other things you can't quite explain because the words for it haven't been invented in any mortal language. I suppose it feels a little like being underwater. Well, you must be feeling pretty confused right now.
You could say that. Actually, would you mind filling me in a little? I kind of feel like I'm losing my mind.
Of course. Where would you like me to start?
Maybe start with Caleb. What's his deal?
Oh, Caleb. Kind of a stiff, isn't he? He's what they call a reaper. It's an afterlife job.
Yeah, he mentioned that. But if he's from the afterlife, does that mean he's dead?
Oh, Caleb's been dead for centuries. Died somewhere around 350 AD, I believe.
Wait, what?
Yep. Any other questions?
Well, what's he doing here in 21st century Westcaster?
How much has he told you?
Just something about helping people who've recently died, offering them a choice?
That's about the gist of it.
Wait a second. You're still here. Does that mean you chose not to move on?
Not a bit. I have every intention of moving on. I just wanted to make sure you were squared away first.
Oh. Well, that's very nice of you.
Next question.
Yeah. How did you get mixed up with Caleb in the first place?
That is an excellent question. You remember that handshake Caleb gave you? That's how most people obtain their ability to see souls. I, on the other hand, was born with the ability to see them.
You were?
Apparently, that doesn't happen very often. Probably a clerical error. Some secretary goofed up the paperwork, most likely. Anyway, once Caleb noticed a mortal was running around, chatting up the souls in his district, well, our partnership was born. We each needed something from the other, you see. I wanted a career that suited my capabilities better than, what was that at the time? Valet parking? Meanwhile, Caleb needed someone to keep the Antiquity Hotel afloat while he worked on his various projects.
What kind of projects?
That is something Caleb will have to explain, should he feel so inclined. He's going to need your help.
My help? What for?
Caleb needs the hotel, but he can't just buy it. Where's a being of the afterlife going to get that kind of paperwork? You know what I mean?
So, he needs a mortal to own it for him.
It's a big ask, I know.
It's more than that. This is
Likely the most important thing you will ever do. Just go to the hotel, see what's going on there, then you can make your decision. All right?
Fine. I'll go after classes tomorrow, but I'm not making any promises. At the moment, if I could go back a week when everything was normal, I would.
I'm sure that's true. Well, I think I've overstayed my welcome.
Wait. I have another question.
Go for it.
Are Mom and Dad here? You know, as souls?
No. They moved on pretty quickly, I'm told.
They didn't even stay for a little while, just to make sure I was okay?
We're really not supposed to stick around, you know.
Yeah. Wait, where are you going?
To the hotel? There's a few things I need to wrap up there. Listen, would you do me a favor? Could you tell my parents I'm sorry? You know, about how things ended?
Well, I could. I just don't know how I...
Please? Let's call it my dying wish.
You're already dead.
You'd seriously deny my request on a technicality.
Fine.
Thanks. We'll chat later then.
I don't think I'll ever get used to people walking through doors. I can't believe I'm actually back here again. Ugh. When will this nightmare be over? Hello? Caleb? Morgan? Anyone? Well, I guess if there were any ghosts here, I'd be able to see them, right? Hello? Anybody?
Noelle, what a pleasant surprise.
I thought you knew I was coming. I told Morgan.
Yes, and he did inform me. There was some debate, however, as to whether or not you would actually show up.
Oh. Well, I'm here. Now what?
Forgive her manners, Mr. Whitby. She's not accustomed to meeting someone of your experience and stature.
Forgiven.
Noelle, this fine old gentleman is Mr. Whitby. He's our oldest guest and as fine a valet as Westcaster has ever seen.
Thank you.
This, Mr. Whitby, is Morgan's niece, Noelle. Noelle, don't you have anything to say to Mr. Whitby?
Nice to meet you.
Charmed.
Very good. Now, on with our tour.
Wait, tour? What tour?
Less talking, more walking. Quickly now, to the kitchen. Senora.
Señor Caleb, ¿eres tú?
Noelle, I'd like you to meet the Acostas. They have a passion for food that carry beyond the grave, hence the kitchen being their dwelling place of choice.
Hi.
Oh, estoy tan feliz. Finalmente tendremos una persona viva y que respire, para quien volver a cocinar. Temíamos que nadie pudiera volver a comer nuestra comida.
They don't speak much English, I'm afraid.
Oh, estaría feliz de probar su comida, señor. I took some Spanish in high school.
I see.
Eres una persona tan hermosa.
Espera hasta probar los tamales de la señora Acosta. Nunca más querrás comer una hamburguesa. Estoy tan emocionado.
Gracias.
Well, shall we move on?
Oh, sure. Adiós. Gracias.
Noel, qué gusto conocerte. Nos veremos pronto. Hasta luego.
Doing well so far?
Surprisingly, the Acostas are nice.
They certainly are. Room 201. Mr. Glover? Mr. Glover?
I really wish people would stop appearing through doors.
Caleb, to what do I owe this pleasure? Oh, this isn't the famous niece Morgan's told us so much about, is it?
The very same. May I ask, is Marcus here by chance?
No, he's not. So, Noelle, will you be taking Morgan's room?
Noelle hasn't quite made up her mind about accommodations just yet.
I see. Well, we'd be happy to have you. Mi casa is tu casa, and all that. All right, be seeing ya.
He's chipper. Who's Marcus?
Marcus is Mr. Glover's son. Quite the troublemaker, a regular poltergeist. He takes significant pleasure in haunting the local hotspots, I'm afraid.
Lovely.
Doubtless poor Kent stayed behind to look after him. Foolish.
Sounds like he's just trying to be a good dad.
Yes. That's what Morgan always said. Well, onward. If you don't mind, we'll keep our voices down here.
Sure.
Hello? Hello, are you there? Hello?
It's kind of cold.
Yes, well, that tends to happen when... Good afternoon, Nitsumi. I'd like you to meet Morgan's niece, Noelle. She will be managing the hotel for a while. If you ever need anything, she... Well, she's never been one for talking.
Why is she like that? So gloomy and creepy.
Some stories are too terrible to be told, I'm afraid. I will tell you, however, that that girl's death was not a peaceful one.
Let's go. I feel strange.
As you wish. And here is poor Mrs. Marsh. Mrs. Marsh, are you in?
Go away.
I have a guest with me.
Not another tourist to laugh at me and lie about me and take pictures.
You know as well as I do, Mrs. Marsh, that ghosts rarely ever show up in photographs. Your privacy is quite secure. Now come meet our guest.
What is it?
I'd like you to meet Noelle Reeves. She's Morgan's niece.
Hi.
So you're the replacement? Well, I won't have you disturbing me while I'm trying to rest in peace.
I'll do my best.
Polite little thing. Not very tall. Actually, you're quite short, aren't you?
And you're quite rude.
I wouldn't have done that if I were you. We'll be putting up with that for a good hour at least.
Sorry.
She probably deserved it. Don't tell anyone I said that.
I won't.
I believe we're about to meet our next soul.
Oh my.
Will you stop throwing my beautiful antique furniture? I've had enough of your nonsense. And if you think I'm going to take it for one more night, you are gravely mistaken. Caleb, oh Caleb, will you please put a stop to this? I can't take it anymore. Ah!
She wanted me, I tell you.
You're crazy. It was me she loved.
Gentlemen, we have a guest. Frank, Harry, I'd like you to meet Noelle Reeves. Noelle, these are the Duckworth brothers, and this is our lovely, efficient housekeeper, Mrs. Fitton.
Reeves? Is she related to Morgan?
She is his niece.
I didn't know he had any nieces.
That's because you never listen. He talks about her all the time.
I listen just fine, you oaf.
Foozer!
Meter!
Hornswoggler!
Gentlemen, please. Noelle, I do apologize.
Oh,
There, see? Now you're going and offended the lady.
I didn't offend her, you jollocks.
Oh, yes you did, you give-face old momsy nose.
You've got some nerve, calling me names like that. You know I've always been sensitive.
Oh, poor little baby Harry, always on the verge of crying as if you weren't a full-grown man. You disgust me.
There, see? That's why the ladies always like me better. Women want a man who can connect with them emotionally. You've got as
Mrs.
much
Fitton,
emotion as
I'll
a
leave them in
lamp
your
post.
very capable hands.
I wish you wouldn't.
Big, fat, stupid, wet-nosed little boy.
Am not.
Stiff upper lip.
Am not.
R2!
Am not.
R2!
this place is very interesting.
Indeed. Do you think you'd ever consider...
Sorry, 1 second. Hello?
Miss Reeves,
Who is this?
my name is Morris Stockley. I'm a member of City Council. I'm sorry to hear about your uncle. I was a friend of his.
Thank you.
I hear you're the unfortunate recipient of the Antiquity Hotel.
Yeah. That's right.
I'm sure you don't want anything getting in the way of your schooling, and you'll be paying more to fix that thing up than you'd pay in 10 years of tuition fees. I think I can help. I'd be willing to buy that rotting eyesore from you for, $90,000.
For how much?
Who is it?
Shh.
What do you say? Want to do your grandparents a huge favor and save them a few bucks on your tuition?
Well, I mean, it's a generous offer, I'm sure. Can I have time to think it over?
Certainly. I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks for calling.
Noelle?
Sorry. We can keep going.
Actually, you've met just about everyone. Except Marcus Glover, of course, but I'm sure he'll turn up eventually. In the meantime, any questions?
Yes. What are these souls doing here? Did they all die here or something?
Oh, hardly. These particular souls were invited to stay here.
Why?
Well, for their protection.
Why would a soul need protection?
So many excellent questions. But first, we ought to be preparing you for your first ghost tour.
But I thought I just... Oh, now wait a minute.
I don't have time to run the tours, I'm afraid. And bills don't pay themselves. That leaves you to run the tours.
But I don't even know the stories. I've never done a ghost tour. How will
Hey, guys. Noelle, glad you came.
Morgan, perfect timing as always. It seems we're in need of the tour guide's guidebook.
Right on. Let's go get that. My room's just down the hall. Here. Welcome to my room. Well, I guess it's not really my room anymore, is it? Let's see. The book is in one of these drawers.
How are you opening those? Shouldn't your hands go right through the handle?
Well, I mean, it takes some serious effort. Luckily, I've only been dead a week. The longer souls wander the earth, the weaker they become. Aha! Here we go. Everything you need to know about the Antiquity Hotel and its guests. You'll be telling their stories on the tours.
It says Mrs. Fitton died by poisoning. Is that true?
Well, that's what she claims. Says her husband killed her.
Wow, that's crazy.
It would be, yeah, if it were true. To be honest, I think she's just angry at him for moving on without her. But it's what we tell our guests, and they eat it up.
Marcus, Mr. Glover's son, right? It says he died at the age of 14. He fell through some rotting floorboards in an abandoned house. That's so sad.
Now that one is completely true. Marcus was something of an explorer at his young age, especially of places he wasn't supposed to be in.
I think I'll take this home and read it, if that's okay.
Oh, of course. The book is yours.
Please note, however, that your first tour is tomorrow night at 9.
Tomorrow?
Please be prompt. We wouldn't want a tardy tour guide putting off our guests.
But I have exams coming up. I need to study.
I'm sure you'll find the time. Who knows, you might even enjoy yourself.
Please, it'd really help us out.
But...
It's decided then. Meet me here tomorrow at 8:45 p.m.
I'm gonna be so late for class. Oh, okay. It's fine. Stay calm. Just ignore the soul.
You can see me, can't you? You can see me. Please, I don't have much time. I need you to do something for me.
I'm sorry. I can't.
You can see him. Can you see me?
No,
You can.
Please, leave me alone.
But my son, he doesn't even know I'm dead. You have to tell him.
You, girl, I need you to talk to my husband. Please, it's important.
There's a key. I left it in my coat pocket. My daughter, she doesn't know.
Help
You're
us.
the only one.
Please,
Help
leave me
us.
alone, please.
Soul Beneficiary. Chapter 2 starred Marion Morton as Noelle and Zed B. Chong as Caleb. Helen Sterling as Nan. Lauren Morgan as Nanpa. Jericho Bull as Morgan. Richard Savage as Mr. Whitby. Rocio Salas as Senora Acosta. Steve Spencer as Senor Acosta. Sean Madsen as Kent Glover. Shanda Christiansen as Laura Marsh. Keely Smith as Beatrice Fitton. Connor Howard as Harry Duckworth. Jamil Berger as Frank Duckworth. Logan Toney as Maurice Stockley. The City Ghosts were played by Topher Lyons, Erin Summonsby, and Jill Friedland. Written and directed by Mariam Morton.